Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Nitai Gaur Premanande, Shri Harinam Sankirtan Yagya ke, Jai Prabhupada ke, Jai. Krishna Premadavani.
Jagannath Puri Dham ki, Ganga Maya Muna Mai ki, Bhakti Devi Tulasi Maharani ki, Shri Harinama Sankirtan Yakya ki, Priyat Mridanga Srila Prabhupada's Transcendental Book Distribution ki, Prabhupada Marathon ki, Nitai Gaura Premanandi. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to Shri Shri Guru and Gauranga.
Sorry, Mataji, Krishna, could you please, Prabhu's also, could you please, like usually, Prabhu's on this side, Mataji's on that side. Okay, my representative.
Hare Krishna. Isagiri Bhagwan ki jai, Machlanda ki jai, Gaura Bhaktivinoda ki jai, Sankirtan Festival 2022 ki jai. Hare Krishna, good morning dear devotees. So today morning's lecture will be given by two brahmacharis from here from Samachna. We have Munindra Prabhu, and from Czech Republic we have Sankirtan Prabhu. So we're happy to hear from both of them. I would like to ask Munindra to start with the Bhajan Kirtan, And then Sankirtan Prabhu can speak first, and only the Ganar can speak the second half. Hare Krishna.
Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari Jaya Jaya Kunja Bihari Gopi Janavallabha Jaya Girivara Thari Jaya Gopi Janavallabha Jaya Girivara Thari Jaya Gopi Janavallabha Jaya Girivara Thari Jaya Gopi Janavallabha Jaya Girivara Thari Yashodanandana Jaya Vajajanaran Jana Jaya Yashodanandana Jaya Vajajanaran Jaya Yashodanandana Jaya Vajajanaran Jana Jaya Yashodanandana Jaya Jajana Jana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Kunjabi Hari Jaya Yamuna Navanacha Jaya Kunjabi Hari Jaya Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Kunjabi Hari Jaya Yamuna Navanachari Jaya Kunjabi Hari Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram Rama Hare Hare Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari 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 Shri Shri Radha Madhava Ki Hare Krishna.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam namaskritya naram chaiva narottamam devim saraswatim vyasam tato jayamudirayet nashtaprayeshva badreshu nityam bhagavata sevaya bhagavatyuttama shloke bhaktir bhavati naishtiki. So is the verse written or not? No, okay. So we are reading from the 10th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, 2nd chapter, prayers by the demigods. Text 37. Shranvan granan samsmarayam chintayan namani rupani cha mangalani te kriyasu yastvaccharanaravindayor avishtacheta nabhavaya kalpate. Shranvan, constantly hearing about the Lord. Shravanam kirtanam Vishnoha. Grunan, chanting or reciting the holy name of the Lord and His activities. Samsmarayan, remembering, constantly thinking of the Lord's lotus feet and His form. Cha and Chintayan, contemplating the transcendental activities of the Lord. Namani, His transcendental names. Rupani, His transcendental forms. Cha, also. Mangalani, which are all transcendental and therefore auspicious. Te, of your lordship. Kriyasu, in being engaged in devotional service. Yaha, he who. Tvat charana aravindayoho, at your lotus feet. Avishtachetaha, the devotee who is completely absorbed in such activities. Na, not. Bhavaya, for the material platform. Kalpate is fit. Translation. Even while engaged in various activities, devotees whose minds are completely absorbed at your lotus feet and who constantly hear, chant, contemplate, and cause others to remember your transcendental names and forms are always on the transcendental platform, and thus they can understand the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Purport. How Bhakti Yoga can be practiced is explained in this verse. Srila Rupa Goswami has said that anyone who has dedicated his life to the service of the Lord, iha yasya harer dasya, by his activities, his mind, and his words, karmana manasagira, may stay in any condition of life, nikhilas svapyavasthasu, and yet is no longer actually conditioned but is liberated. Jivan mukta sa uchyate. Even though such a devotee is in a material body, he has nothing to do with this body, for he is transcendently situated. Narayana parah sarve nakutaschana bibhyate. Because a devotee is engaged in transcendental activities, he is not afraid of being materially embodied. Bhagavatam 6:17-28. Illustrating this liberated position, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu prayed, Mama janmani janmanishvare bhavatad bhaktir ahaitukhi tvai. All I want is your costless devotional service in my life, birth after birth. Shikshashtaka 4. Even if a devotee, by the supreme will of the Lord, takes birth in this material world, he continues his devotional service. When King Bharata made a mistake and in his next life became a deer, his devotional service did not stop, although some slight chastisement was given to him because of his negligence. Narada Muni says that even if one falls from the platform of devotional service, he is not lost, whereas non-devotees are lost entirely because they are not engaged in service. Bhagavad Gita 9:14 therefore recommends that one always engage at least in chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantram. Satatam kirtayanto mam yatantascha dridha vrataha namasyantascha mam bhaktya nitya yukta upasate. Always chanting my glories, endeavoring with great determination, bowing down before me, the great souls perpetually worship me with devotion. One should not give up the process of devotional service which is performed in 9 different ways: Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu, Smaranam, Pada, Sevanam, etc. The most important process is hearing, Shravanam, from the Guru, Sadhu and Shastra, the spiritual master, the saintly Acharyas and the Vedic literatures. Sadhu, Shastra, Guru, Vakya, Chitete, Korya, Aikya. We should not hear the commentaries and explanations of non-devotees, for this is strictly forbidden by Srila Sanatana Goswami, who quotes from the Padma Purana, Avaishna Mukhodgirnam Putam Hari Kathamritam Shravanam Naiva Karatavyam Sarpo Chishtam Yathapayaha. We should strictly follow this injunction and never try to hear from Mayavadis, impersonalists, voidists, politicians, and so-called scholars. Strictly avoiding such inauspicious association, we should simply hear from pure devotees. Srila Rupa Goswami therefore recommends Shri Guru Padashrayaha. One must seek shelter at the lotus feet of a pure devotee who can be one's guru. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu advises that a guru is one who strictly follows the instructions of Bhagavad Gita. Yare dikhatare kaha Krishna upadesh. Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya 7:128. A juggler, a magician, or one who speaks nonsense as an academic career is not a guru. Rather, a guru is one who presents Bhagavad Gita, Krishna's instructions as it is. Shravana is very important. One must hear from the Vaishnava, Sadhu, Guru and Shastra. The word kriyasu, meaning by manual labor or by work, is important in this verse. One should engage in practical service to the Lord. In our Krishna consciousness movement, all our activities are concentrated upon distributing Krishna literature. This is very important. One may approach any person and induce him to read Krishna literature so that in the future he also may become a devotee. Such activities are recommended in this verse. Kriyasu yastvach charanara vindayoho. Such activities will always remind the devotees of the Lord's lotus feet. By fully concentrating on distributing books for Krishna, one is fully absorbed in Krishna. This is samadhi. Shrinvan granan samsmarayamscha chintayan namani rupani cha mangalani te kriyasu yastva charanara vindayor avishta chetana bhavaya kalpate. Even while engaged in various activities, devotees whose minds are completely absorbed at your lotus feet, and who constantly hear, chant, contemplate, and cause others to remember your transcendental names and forms, are always on the transcendental platform, and thus they can understand the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Om Jnanati Mirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitamena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So this is very interesting verse spoken by the demigods who are praying to Lord Krishna in the womb of Mother Devaki. And it's very inspiring verse which describes our process of devotional service and the position of devotees in which they could be able to understand the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna. It's all about dedicating our life So Prabhupada explains in the beginning of his purport that anyone who has dedicated his life for the service of the Lord. So this is our goal, or this is the goal of our International Society for Krishna Consciousness, to inspire everyone to dedicate his life to the service or to the mission of the Supreme Lord. The goal of this movement is not to create more members and having a lot of followers of different sorts, but our mission and our goal is to inspire everyone to dedicate his full life to Krishna. Of course, there will be many who will not be able to dedicate their whole lives. Whole life is also described, karmana, manasa, vacha. That means all activities, all words, and all thoughts. That means if we are thinking about something in our life, we think a lot. I mean, at least our mind is working in a certain process. It's not always possible to call it thinking in this, in the higher sense. But the mind is active and it's contemplating different things. But the only thing which mind should contemplate is how to become more surrendered to Krishna and how to be more engaged in Krishna's service. That is the full dedication. And of course, it will take some time to become so dedicated, but that should be clearly understood that this is the goal of our activities, and this is required from every devotee to strive for this, to dedicate his life to service of Krishna. And translate it, that means for our current situation, to dedicate our life to assist Srila Prabhupada in his mission. That is in practical terms. Like there are some things which can be vaguely understand, like we have to give the results of our work to Krishna. So what it means is basically your money. Yeah? This is the result of your work. If you are not living like traditionally, that your result of your work are potatoes, then for most of your results of your work are money. So that means give it to Krishna. That is third chapter of Bhagavad Gita and fourth, fifth. Yeah? To give our results to Krishna means, in practical sense, money. So dedicate life to Krishna means to dedicate our life to assist Srila Prabhupada and his good servants in his mission. And the very important point here is that we have to hear about Krishna and glorify Krishna. And Srila Prabhupada describes this as the most important process. And then we are informed here that these devotees then cause others to remember your transcendental names and forms. So devotee who hears about Krishna and chants about Krishna, then he also remembers Krishna and he causes others to also remember Krishna's name. So this is basically our Sankirtan mission. We do different activities in which book distribution is in the center, as it is described in the beautiful paragraph at the end of this purport, that all activities of our Krishna consciousness movement are centered or concentrated upon distributing Krishna literature. So this is like the center of everything we do. We have deity worship, we have public programs, we have Harinam Sankirtan, and everything is centered about these books, around these books. Because the books, we know, are the basis. Yeah? The basis of our preaching and the basis of our spiritual lives. So books have to be completely in the center. If the books are only in the center of our preaching and not of our lives, our preaching will not go very well or not very long. And if the books are only basis of our spiritual life but not our preaching, the preaching will also not go very well. Books have to be there. This is how we actually preach, that we inspire people to read these books. Yeah, and then those people start to understand. Even if they have many questions, we tell them, please read this one book and then come with your questions. And most of the questions are solved by reading that book. And even if they have questions and they are questioning different points in that book during the reading, usually if they continue to read, maybe you have this experience, some people read Bhagavad Gita and they have many questions. Maybe you had also. And they're writing down the questions, so many questions I want to ask. But if they continue reading at the end, many of those questions are being answered. It's becoming clear. And here it is also mentioned about Avaishnava. Avaishnava Mukha. Avaishnava Mukhod Girnam. Putam Hari Kathamritam. Kathamrita, which is like a nectar of Krishna's glories, which is, if it is spoken or being paraphrased by non-devotee, then it is like a poison. And those who go on book distribution, even they are very new to devotional service. They can easily, if they meet these people, they are not being shaken in their faith, because the knowledge given in Srila Prabhupada's books is so much above all of this rubbish, Mayavada, Neo-Mayavada, New Age, this guru, that guru talk, that devotees quite easily can understand this is just much higher knowledge. And you are in illusion. I mean, maybe I will not tell you so directly, maybe yes, sometimes, but at least I can see easily you are in illusion. This is not the real thing, because you are really misinformed, and you are actually, most people are actually not sincere. They like to be cheated, yeah, we know that. So a devotee wants to share this knowledge with others, but very important point here is, which is written here, although the Yuga Dharma for this age is Sankirtan, we know, yeah? Kali Yuge Yuga Dharma Namera Prachar, Tathilagi Pita Varna Chaitanya Avatar. This is a verse which I have read first time, I don't know, it was probably a very long time ago. And it's always in my mind when I think about Yuga Dharma, because it does not explain only congregational chanting, but it is said Namera Prachar. That means preaching the holy name is a Yuga Dharma. That is interesting point to consider. So to chant the holy name, yeah, generally we say this is Yuga Dharma. To chant together, this is more usually said it is Yuga Dharma. But actually in this verse, particularly, it is said Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came to spread the Yuga Dharma, which is Namera Prachar, to spread the holy name, not only chant. So actually, in the highest sense, the spreading of the holy name, this is Yuga Dharma. And this is what we are supposed to do, because we are followers of Srila Prabhupada, and he sacrificed his life fully, dedicated his life fully to assist his spiritual master in spreading the holy name. And his spiritual master instructed him to spread the holy name to English-speaking people. And what Srila Prabhupada did? Yeah, he spread to English-speaking people and said, okay, enough, good. I can go back to Vrindavan and chant, my mission complete. Yeah? Point, done. No, he expanded it. Spanish, French, German, Czech, this, that, so many languages all over the world, different countries. He actually expanded because that was, of course, also a desire of Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, although he didn't directly say, you spread it into every town, village, country in the world. He said, speak, you are intelligent boy, preach to English-speaking people. So Srila Prabhupada did that and dedicated his full life to that. And also he expected from his disciple they will dedicate their lives to his mission. Yeah? This is just normal thing. You have a guru, so you live for him. Yeah, you give him your life, actually. Yeah, I remember once Kanamakara Maharaj was giving initiation, and I like this very much. When a thief comes, he say, give life life or money. And I say life and money. Give both. So that is actually our relationship with Guru. And if we give life, of course, he gets the money also. So it's not that we give our life to Guru and we keep our everything else. It's ours. Like there was one example my spiritual master was speaking about. There was one disciple of one Guru. I don't know the names, he didn't mention. It was in US. And that Guru was picked up by his disciple on the airport. And on the way to the temple, the disciple had to stop on the petrol station to get the fuel. And the Guru told him, actually, you should have done that before, not to waste my time. And he got insulted. Oh, it's my car, my time, my money, and you are even not satisfied with that. And he got big problems with that. So this is problem with our Western mentality. Maybe we are not having so gross problem, but still when the Guru is far away, then we think, okay, we have our lives. But these are not our lives. This is very, very nice thought which we can also consider, that the life is Guru's life, Srila Prabhupada's life. He saved us, so we are not supposed to serve him. And Srila Prabhupada explains here that hearing is actually the most important part. So we have Yuga Dharma. This is chanting, spreading the holy name, preaching, and distributing books, doing Harinam Sankirtan, having a lot of kirtan, chanting, and like that. This is Yuga Dharma. But actually, in some connection, in some context, it is said that hearing is most important. Because without hearing, we are not able to chant, isn't it? So we have like these 5 most powerful processes, like chanting of the holy name and hearing Bhagavatam and worshipping the deity, living at the holy place, and what I didn't say? Yes, Vaishnava Sangha. And it is said Vaishnava Sangha, the association of devotees, is most important. Then it is said chanting of the holy name is most important. And it is said also hearing is the most important. So from different angles of view, these are most important. And hearing is most important because if we do not hear, our book distribution will not go for very long, isn't it? So Srila Prabhupada describes here in this shloka that those devotees who are doing book distribution, they can be in transcendental samadhi. But it is not that everyone who is there in the street is in this samadhi. I have personal experience. So usually we think, okay, I'm distributing books, so that means I'm transcendental. It's a transcendental activity, and all who are distributing books are automatically transcendental. So yes, the activity is transcendental, but the doer doesn't have to be fully transcendental to be there at that particular time. And for that, you know that Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam. Samadhi is actually part of Smaran. It's coming from remembering Krishna. If you remember the purport of Srila Prabhupada to Nectar of Instruction, I think it's a shloka 8. There is a description what means like the meditation, the absorption. When the absorption becomes complete, then it's called concentration. When that becomes complete, like that, there are gradations of that, of concentrating our mind, and the highest stage is samadhi. That means there is nothing else in our mind, just Krishna, or but Krishna. And in this connection, also this Sankirtan Samadhi is not so cheap. We would like to have it. We would like to be in Sankirtan Samadhi, and maybe, probably some of you have been during the marathon in Samadhi. But the thing is, Samadhi does not break, you know. Again, back to our, okay, 1 more day, 2 more days, and then next year, okay? Next year Samadhi, and then 9 months of non-samadhi state. And so this is how we understand. Book distribution is transcendental activity. We know we even know, and it's confirmed by our Srila Prabhupada, that it is in the mood of gopis, bringing devotees to Krishna, to Srimati Radharani, so she can, bring to Krishna more servants. So this is actually the mood of gopis, but that does not necessarily mean that we, book distributors, are really on that level. So for that, we really need to hear very, very regularly. Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya. We have to every day read and hear from Srimad Bhagavatam and feed our devotion to the Lord. And on the basis of that, our mind setup during the book distribution will become more and more transcendental, because we can be in the street and just push the books one after another and push and just see the number and see the other person, he will maybe give today 70, so I have to give at least 80, and it's not working. So we just see everyone just, okay, you are a point for me, point or 2 points or 3 points or 5 points, and you give me money, otherwise my temple president will not be so happy, but I need these points. And those who collect for themselves, maybe they can see the money from the people, so they give him whatever, 100 euros, and they give him one small book. It's nice, take it will be very nice for you. But brahmacharis, when they distribute, they don't care about money, they care about points, isn't it? So if they get 2 euros, they give 3 books. Okay, take it. I will somehow manage. Don't worry. Just I need to. So this is part of the game, I would say, or part of the whole process. But it can be there, of course. We also think about results and about getting donations, but with different mentality. That we are there, and Srila Prabhupada mentions it here actually. That the point is, one may approach any person and induce him to read Krishna literature, so that in the future he also may become a devotee. So that is the main meditation of a Sankirtan devotee, that I want to approach this person to inspire him to read the book. And of course, to inspire him to read the book, we need him to buy the book first. And then we want to inspire him also to become a Krishna's devotee. So that is what keeps us going for many years to distribute books, that because we are getting a lot of challenges from our minds, from our bodies, from other devotees also. It's enough, it's not so, you can do some other things also. And we have to overcome that. And if we are not hearing and chanting properly, then it is very difficult. But if we have good knowledge, and we know that if we are having this, burning, did you ever burn on book distribution? I'm totally burned, Prabhu, today. So when we are burned, we know when we open Bhagavad Gita at any place and start to read, we feel the healing. It's going on immediately. It's just, this, and it inspires us to go again. I remember once I was doing door-to-door in apartment building, and just as it happens quite regularly, nobody was taking anything. And it was like 1 hour, 2 hour, nothing, no book, zero. And I was thinking, why I'm doing this? And I was even, some tears came from my eyes. And I was sitting on the stairs in the apartment building. I was thinking, Krishna, please. But I thought about, anytime I have this, okay, I think, I have some weakness, I have to overcome it. This is the best process to do it. Somehow I will at some time I will have to face it. So let me continue, and maybe I will find some person who will take a book. and who will appreciate it. And then nothing worked. And after some time, one lady, old lady, took a book, one book. I was so happy. Okay, at least one book, Krishna. And then I went down, another floor, nothing, another floor, nothing. And then I heard some, some noise like somebody is walking down the steps. I was thinking, no, that is that lady, and she is going to give me that book back, which happens, sometimes. And I have heard that sound coming closer, and then the person appeared, and it was her. I said, oh no, my only book today, and she is going to give it back to me, because why should she come? And she had the book in hand, actually, and approaching like this. And then she said, I came to thank you very much that you gave me this book. I am waiting for such a knowledge all my life. I am so grateful to you. And I was thinking, okay, Krishna, this is worth of it, to undergo this suffering for this person, because if I wouldn't continue, this person wouldn't get a book and probably die without a book. And now she could die. Most probably she is dead now. It was about 15 years ago, and she was about 70, maybe 80 years old. So most probably she is dead. But she died with that book. And she read that, because she started to read it immediately at the spot. So at least some knowledge of Krishna she got. And yeah, that gave me some inspiration. And I have like 5 minutes left, so I went to another, entrance, with the flats. And I just do one floor, and one person took 3 books, another person took 7 books, another person took like 11 books. And that was end of the day. So I distributed like my normal quota, but in between, and if you come to the van, you want to share, oh, it was such a great suffering. You want to, be also like Litovan. Lamented upon, Oh, you are so, yes, you have to suffer so much. But, oh, how many books? Oh, 30, oh, 20, oh, so what is the problem, So, like that. Anyway, so my thought, or one of the thoughts, is that we want to do this preaching service because this is what we do as devotees of Krishna. We share with others Krishna literature, and we should have these 2 important points in our minds. That is, we have to read about Krishna and chant about Krishna very nicely to be strong enough to continue with this sharing process, and also to have proper understanding. The most important point in our preaching is to make them devotees, to give them the book with the vision, okay, this person maybe will read it, or maybe someone else will read it, but we want people to read those books, and then we want to collect those people also. Okay, you're already reading, okay, come. We have some sangha, we have some, some program. You can come, you can be with us, and give them proper time. So usually, I recommend devotees, or it is general rule, when you distribute books, you don't spend a lot of time. 1, 2, 3 minutes for a book, 2 or 3, it's usually okay. You can quickly distribute, but no need to waste time for 30 minutes, to speak with somebody and argue, and just at the end he will take one small book, or maybe nothing, and then you are exhausted, like they are like this vampire, how will you say, vampires, like sucking, the energy, and our boys have full, from this marathon, new boys, they have experienced this. They do not know yet, so they think, okay, I'm preaching, and then the person left, let them be there, and they realize, and the rest of the day was complete disaster. But if we meet somebody who is interested and who can be a devotee, we can invest a little bit more time. We can spend some more energy with him and inspire him to practice the devotional service himself. Okay, these are a few points from my side. You can now take over.
For Sankirtan, for book distribution, even while engaged in various activities. Book distribution is the main field of it. Devotees whose minds are completely absorbed at the lotus feet and who constantly hear, chant, contemplate, and cause others to remember the transcendental names and forms are always on the transcendental platform, and thus they can understand the Supreme Personality. There are many points. It's somehow we don't spoken before the lecture,
Yeah.
but I have also similar thoughts what you were speaking now, and try somehow to connect. And now also my meditation, or how to say, on this book distribution marathon, all the time a marathon is very special. I often say to the young devotees, this is like a, I don't know, this Quantensprung, a marathon in the life of
Quantensprung?
Yes.
Okay.
Like beautiful meditative step in the something like this to come closer to Krishna, and it's really we can really experience, we can feel it after a marathon. It's amazing how many things are happening in us, and especially when we are conscious about and when we have the right desires, the right wishes, because actually there are many things. Actually, these verses and actually almost all the verses and all topics in Bhagavatam, Chaitanya Charitamrita, Bhagavad Gita are mentioning actually mostly the pure platform of devotional service. You know, Anyabilashi Tashana, Jinatana, Anapita, Anukulina, Krishna, Shilana, Bhakti, Uttama is a definition of pure devotional service. And that means that we render service in a favorable mood for Krishna. That actually is really like, it should be pleasing for Krishna. And that requires that we should do this service without desire for material profit, without fruitive activities, and without mental speculations or philosophical speculations. And I need to say, I mean, not that I'm understanding all these points, for sure not, and also not realized it, but step by step with the devotional service, with our process, in our process, we can realize more, and Krishna is clarifying us, Krishna is cleansing our heart more, and then step by step we are allowed to understand these points more deeply, and to see more the Zusammenhänge and the contexts more, and the more details more, and especially marathons. I mean, some years ago I was only doing and pushing books, and somehow on one point, how also Sankirtan Prabhu told, I don't say it's not possible. It is, everything is possible. It depends on our desire. What is our desire? What we really desire? How high are our real desires? how high is it really? And actually, Jai Shri Shipala Nisimhadev Bhagavan Ki Jai. And now is Nisimhadev appearing. It's should be the highest goal, the highest desire, Shri Krishna, to reach him and to get pure devotional service to him. And actually, step by step, we should also be thoughtful. There was a very interesting word in this verse. of the 10th canto now, what he was reading, what Sankirtan Prabhu was reading. It's actually the words, where is it? It's contemplating. That means like thinking to, what is nachsinnen, to think, to maybe to honor, ponder, to like somehow like meditate. And actually here is it, this word is connected with actually meditating on the transcendental games or pastimes of Krishna. And I was thinking, yes, that's actually the transcendental platform when we are on samadhi, but actually myself not, and maybe some of you also not, are on this platform. Then, but we can use also these things to come to this platform. And my meditation was, or somehow what I was experiencing in the marathon, I had no that much expectations from the marathon, so much goals, so much numbers. I had, for sure, every Sankirtan devotee has somehow like a desire or a vision, what to reach, what would be nice, or his spiritual master to reach. But I was tried to be detached of the result. I don't say that I was detached, but I was trying to be detached of the result. And there was many very interesting experiences in the marathon. And Krishna is actually playing with us. When we let play with us, then it can be very nice, very easy, very funny, or also painful, but connected with Krishna. Or when we try to do our own game, our own play, then it can become very painful. Marathon especially, but also normal Sankirtan, or actually normal devotional, whatever, what we are doing. But mainly on Bhakti's devotion, it's really close. The mirror is really close all the time by you. You cannot run away, and the mirror is after you. You see everything when you like to see. It depends on if we like to see or not. And somehow I was decided, yes, I would like to see. And the first step Krishna showed me, somehow, I don't know, since many years it was for me almost, on the beginning it was hard, and after it becomes a little bit more smooth and smart with the people, and sometimes going books, sometimes not, you are more tolerant. And somehow, this marathon, I don't know, Krishna showed me that I could not be so much tolerant with the people, or I don't know, Krishna arranged, all the time I see Krishna is arranging different things for us. We have some different desires, and hopefully we like to do advancement also in spiritual life, hopefully also for the point that we help others, not only for, oh, I should go back to Godhead. Yes, it's our desire somehow, and pure devotional service, but actually also on the way to take others with us, like our examples like Srila Prabhupada and all of you who are sitting here, who is not meditating on such glorious activities. But we need to be ready to take up this, to hear, to listen what Krishna is really like, that we can do really favorable service for Krishna. And on the beginning I was seeing on the marathon, there was really, it was somehow, I could not tolerate the people, the heavy people. It was not so heavy for me somehow, but that they was really ignorant, don't listening, don't stopping, no time. Really, like in a, not to me in a heavy mood, but like in a, how to say, in an impersonal mood. And it's really sometimes really hard. Once one devotee told the most hard thing to tolerate is the ignorance of the people. And it's really heavy. Heavy to real, when you really experience really heavy. It can give you heavy emotions in the heart. Actually also like, somehow like pain, sadness. I mean, it depends on which platform we are and how we think. If we only, oh, they're rescuers, they're fools, they're karmas, or if we say, oh, they're really suffering, if you're feeling some compassion with them. But anyway, somehow there was different points to not tolerate, and somehow I saw very clearly, so-called, or Krishna helped me to see how really the people really are, how not truthful, not this, not that, whatever. But actually the point was not that actually I was meditating on the people that they are this, they are that, they are so bad, they have so many bad qualities. Actually the thing was more that I was seeing I have these bad qualities. I was seeing somehow the people, when you have had the exchange with them and what was happening in this not so comfortable, how to say, for us, when we are on the book distribution, for us it's not that much comfortable when we meet such people who don't take the book. No, thank you very much. I don't like this book. I don't have money. Sorry, I only have my card. Oh, we have a what is a card reader? Oh, sorry. Thank you. Goodbye. And then there's many things. Okay, nice. And time by time and day by day, we become more and more and more diminished, more purified, more hopefully more humble when we try to see Krishna's arrangement. And somehow I try to, okay, Krishna, let's do it. Let's go into the purification. And somehow it was interesting. We all the time when we start the marathon in my team, I try to have a focus, a goal, a spirit for our team. And this marathon, our spirit was with love for Krishna. That was our spirit. Okay. Anyway, what we are doing, whatever. If you're sleeping, if you're laughing, if you're hearing a lecture, if you're cooking, if you're this, with love for Krishna. When we're suffering on the street, okay, with love for Krishna. Whatever is happening, we try to meditate, to think about it with love for Krishna, and not for our desires, for our enjoyment. And actually, then somehow, at some points, I start to recognize I need purification, because I have so many false things in me, I mean, maybe there's sometimes, or they seems to be subtle, but they are there. How you told, maybe on which place, maybe so many points, maybe. There's so many fine things, and we have to be free, all of these things. And it was really, really heavy to realize. And then is the second question, are you ready for it? Are you really trying to give it up? And then I was praying to Krishna, okay, Krishna, I try to be really detached, to give up my wished results for you or for my Guru Maharaj, and give it to you, up to you. When you like, I'm suffering and don't distributing that much books. And it worked. I was suffering and it was really good. I mean, what means good? It's on one part good. Somehow you understand it is good and this is necessary. That we become clarified. That we can be elevated on the higher platform, and this is actually necessary. We need to understand these points. We have to face suffering. We have to face pain. We have to face tapasya. There was one point in Prabhupada's, I was reading somewhere in Bhagavatam, when one is situated in pure devotional service, is the point. I mean, actually we are engaged in devotional, but pure devotional service, then he develops love to God. Then he develops love to God. I mean, okay, we also, step by step, we are on the way to develop love to God also when we are in not pure devotional service. But actually we should become elevated we should come to a pure platform. And actually this we can get from our gurus, from our seniors, from elevated devotees, from pure devotees. And we have many of them. We have so many pure devotees, and I'm also very thankful on this point to many, many pure devotees who are engaging and helping and praying and whatever. Many many of you are sitting here, and I'm very, very thankful. And yes, that's really important, and to know lament and to take up and to really try to play Krishna's game. I mean, it's maybe not all the time possible to do, because it's really hard. Because why? Because we need to face our anarthas. We need to face our false ego, and it is really heavy to really face it, to really see it, to really accept it. Or maybe also to love it. I mean, love it in a sense that you say, I take it, and somehow it should go away. This is not a part of me. I'm not a spiritual anartha. I'm a spiritual soul, and that needs to go, and we need to give them up. But actually, we are how to say, what is festhalten on it? We are holding on it. We sometimes, and I was really seeing, oh my God, it's not easy to let them go, to really to open, and it's really a process, and we need to go in. We need to, when we are really serious in our devotional service, we have to face such things. And it's very good, and then we can go to different platforms where we can really inspire more people. When Prabhupada is describing, when we are more really pure, that there is, I don't know, I think I read here something I can search, but I could read it. I think it's this part. Our preachers who are preaching Krishna consciousness, that's from the Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya Lila, it's a purport from Prabhupada. Our preachers who are preaching Krishna consciousness all over the world should follow in the footsteps of Narada Muni and become purified by following the 4 principles of chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. This will make them fit to become Vaishnavas. Then, when they speak to sinful people about the teachings of this Krishna consciousness movement, people will be affected and take the instructions. We receive instructions in devotional service through the disciplic succession. Narada Muni is our original guru because he is the spiritual master of Vyasadeva. Vyasadeva is the spiritual master of our disciplic succession. Therefore, we should follow in the footsteps of Narada Muni and become pure Vaishnavas. A pure Vaishnava is one who has no ulterior motive. He has totally dedicated himself to the service of the Lord. He does not have material desire, and he is not interested in so-called learning and philanthropic work. And actually, when we really want to do advancement, then we need to be really serious and really somehow really heavy also to us and sometimes to others, but in a nice way. And actually, this is the goal of the movement, to try to inspire people. And actually, with our tapasya, when we are also living this, and I'm so inspired from senior disciples, senior devotees who are doing this, who are walking on this path really with such an this Entschlossenheit, like determination. It's so nice to see. It gives so much strength, so much strength to also continue it, to also keep on going on, and also then to give to others the same. Try to give it up to others. And yes, maybe in this sense I prepared more thoughts, but our time is over, and breakfast should also be prepared by myself, a part of it. And yes, I thank you very much. Thank you for everything. And please give the blessings also for me that I can make some progress in spiritual life. Please bless me, and that many other devotees can take it up, and that we can help so many devotees, many people on the street to get them. And one request I would have to young people also, please take up this process, especially the book distribution. Take it up, Go into it. When you are young, also when you are old, but especially when you are young, go into it, do it, give your life, give what you can, give so much you can, and don't hold something back. Krishna Prabhu is doing all the time. Krishna is seeing what we're holding back, and yes, and it's sometimes heavy, but it's actually, we know what we get on the end. And Prabhupada is, I think in Nectar of Devotion, Prabhupada is describing pure devotional service is more powerful than Krishna. It's more powerful than Krishna. Because Krishna is bewildered from it. This is so nice. It's more powerful than Krishna. It's amazing. And actually we can take part of it, and please don't lose this opportunity when you have this opportunity to do Sankirtan, to distribute books. Whoever can do whatever, also with children, everybody can go on, whatever, when we have some little time or whatever, or preaching or engage or spread this movement, then Prabhupada is very pleased, and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and actually all the Vaishnavas. It's a great mercy. Thank you very much. I don't know if you have time for some questions or for short comments, questions maybe from our senior devotees.
Prasadam is 9:30, so we have some time.
Okay. So.
9:50. Still we have some time.
Okay.
My question was, you raised, Sankirtan Prabhu, you raised the point about sincerity. And sometimes, one time on the street, I was telling one boy, yeah, you should be really sincere and take it up. And then he was offended, like, what? You think I'm not sincere? And then I was like, oh. So then I was meditating, what does it mean to be sincere? And has come up several times. How do I, because most people in their endeavors, they think they are sincere. They're convinced in their realm, in their dimension, they're sincerely in Maya, you know? So, and they're very good at it. So how to get them out?
How to get them out is, the answer is clear. Give them books, inspire them to read, speak with them, give them prasadam, like that. But to understand what is real sincerity for us is also important, that we should not be confused that they say, oh, I am sincere, and we should be like, okay, you are sincere, okay, so why this doesn't work, or they are not sincere, of course we know. The Srila Prabhupada was asked about sincere atheists. They are sincere, these atheists, some of them are sincere. Srila Prabhupada said there is nothing like sincere atheist. Atheist means insincere, by default, this is just like that. So I would say sincere means honest with himself. So honest means that when he understands that there is God and I am his particle, I am supposed to serve him, then he will do it. Because, he's honest with the whole information. But if he wants to cover somehow or other, I don't like this, I'm sincere in different way, then, and of course before they come to these books, we can't really judge. We know that they misuse their independence in the beginning, but these books, when the people get these books, they will actually show who is who, and how sincere and how whatever they are.
So you want to say that sincere means being honest, and being honest automatic, even if you're in Maya, if you're actually honest, you understand that you're a particle of God.
Of course, if you get the information, if you
but they don't have the
really.
information.
Yeah, of course, but there we are giving them. But you mean before that?
Yeah.
Before that, if they are sincere. Yeah, therefore I would say that it will be shown when they get books. Their sincerity will be shown after that. Before that, we can't really say if that soul there is ready to show their his sincerity or not. I would say maybe like this. When they have to face Krishna conscious philosophy, then we can judge a little bit. It can maybe take a little time before they understand it and become sincere. We are also working on our sincerity, isn't it? Yeah, isn't it? It's we are sincere that much that we changed our clothes and, stop to eat meat and this and that, but not maybe so sincere and honest with us to give fully ourselves in the process. We still keep something, some other things little with us here in the pocket, and when we take it out when nobody's watching, oh, I have still something. So that's not sincere, but so it's a process also to develop sincerity. And people, of course, they think they are sincere, so we don't have to discourage them, but encourage. Okay, so try to read that and go from some side another side just to inspire them, because we know finally sincere means those who surrender fully to Krishna. That means whole sincerity. Otherwise, you are not sincere. You are just keeping something for yourself. So, thieves, yeah. Sincere thief. Stealing for Krishna.
I was actually going to say the same thing. In the book Perfect Questions, Perfect Answers, I remember Srila Prabhupada asks Bob Cohen, like, what is sincerity? And he answers, sincerity is honesty is doing what you feel, doing what you feel is right. And then Srila Prabhupada gives the example of a sincere thief. Like, is he honest? And then they decide that honesty is actually knowing what belongs to you and what doesn't belong to you.
Yeah.
And that requires knowledge of Krishna, at least of a higher source, I guess. Knowing what belongs to you and what doesn't.
Yeah.
So this was just a comment.
Thank you.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you. Bro?
Hare Krishna. I would like to give a comment and then a short question. So, this verse is about Krishna's pastime, and we becoming Krishna devotees, and the ultimate goal to take part of Krishna's pastime. And I was meditating that it's only in the spiritual world that Krishna's pastimes are going on. And then I remember that a few times I heard that Krishna came again 500 and something years ago, and he started a new pastime here in the world. So also Krishna left the planet in 5,000 years ago, and then it was a short pastime, means 125 years. But when he came again, he didn't finish his pastime, which is the proof that he brought different eternal servant with him, and not at the present moment when he was here, but later. Narottam Das Thakur, Bhaktin Thakur, Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Maharaj, and they started to expand Krishna's, Lord Chaitanya's pastime. And when Prabhupada got this instruction that spread the Krishna consciousness by book distribution, then that pastimes opened for us, because to distribute books is a part of Lord Chaitanya's pastime. And Lord Chaitanya is so merciful that in this pastime, everyone can take part. Not necessarily we are pure devotees to take part of Krishna's pastime in this case. In this case, we can be not pure devotees or not totally pure, and we can engage others who are absolutely not pure devotees, not the devotees. Just they're taking part of the pastimes like Jagai Madai. And if you meditate on that every day we have a very good chance to seriously taking our role in that pastime, getting the instruction of Guru, and then taking the Krishna in the form of the book. And then we are the carrier of Krishna, like Garuda or like others, and we bring that book and inspire others to take that book. That's the meat of the pastime. That is the center of the pastime. So I think that meditation could help everyone. If somehow or other we just take part of that pastime, and then we get the feeling of Lord Chaitanya's satisfaction. We get the happiness of Lord Chaitanya by joining to that pastime for one moment, for one day, any day. So that's my comment would be. And I have a question. Anyway, so answer someone. So here in the purport there is a part which shows that sorry. Yeah, the most important process is hearing from the Guru, Sadhu and Shastra, the spiritual master, the saintly acharyas and the Vedic literature. I would like to ask if you can a little bit of some of you a little bit explain that why these three, why not enough hearing from the Guru, or why not enough hearing from the Shastra? How these three are helping us to have a complete understanding. Sadhu, Guru, Shastra, how they help each other. In this case, in the book distribution, for example. Thank you.
Hare Krishna. Short answer.
I think it's working. Hare Krishna. Thank you, Gornitai Prabhu, for the question. I'm not really qualified, I think, for this answer, but my understanding is that it is coming from Krishna. He is the source. And actually these parts are also proving that this is from the same source. It's the same thing all the time. And when it's combined, then it's actually that we can sure that it's come from Krishna. Because Guru is representing this, Sadhu is representing this, Shastra is representing Krishna. It's like the same source. It's like identical. I don't know. Maybe you have the corner.
That's fact that all three should be represent Krishna, but
it can happen that some will not represent Krishna. Some sadhu can say something and Guru will say something else, isn't it? Yeah. That can happen. Yeah. So then if we are confused like that, there must be the Shastra as the main thing. That must be, actually this is like non-movable. I mean, yeah, there can be different sadhus, different gurus, but the Shastra is the same. This is the main aspect of that. And of course, we need, and in this way we can also recognize who is the right guru and who is the right sadhu to ask if he is in correspondence with Shastra and with the previous acharyas about which we know they are already in line with Shastra. Like that we have to also think about it. It's not only, okay, Vaishnava said they like this and that prasadam, so we have to cook for them, although Krishna doesn't like it, but we have to please Vaishnavas. But real Vaishnava is pleased by which Krishna and Srila Prabhupada is pleased. So this must be also part of our understanding. Maybe you have some more point, I don't know. Yeah. It's the end. Just one minute thought for you. I will use this opportunity. I will ask you, we are a meeting of Sankirtan devotees here for Marathon Festival, Sankirtan Yagya Ki Jai. So how many, just one point to consider, how many of you can raise the hand, is going out with books every week at least for one full day? Now, currently? Okay. How many of you are doing that for at least 5 years, every week? Okay. So that's not so many, we are a meeting of Sankirtan devotees. So let's face the reality. We come Marathon Ki Jai, but what next? So just, I'm not going to give a lecture on the topic, just for you, try to seriously, all of you, maybe I think many of you are already doing that, but anyway, for you to seriously consider the point of Srila Prabhupada's like Varnashram and self-sufficient mission, to have communities of devotees, because usually after doing book distribution for some time, we end up different towns, different flats, doing different jobs, usually mixing with the rest of the society. We don't have our own villages or communities. It's not easy to set it up, but it would be a great help for those who are not anymore going for book distribution so much. We want to inspire everybody to go out, but we saw the hands, isn't it? And we have this festival every year, and I think the number of the hands is, at least last year, similar. And especially when we ask the question for last 5 years or 10 years, so like that. So that's the reality. And the beauty of that is that those devotees actually who live in farm communities and just do the basic things like growing their own food and heating their house and doing some craft or whatever, actually by that itself they are engaged in the mission automatically, because they are developing the Srila Prabhupada's plan, and just by living, raising up children, cooking food for Krishna, they are just doing that in a way, it's a part of great mission. So just a thought for you to think about, because it's not easy, it's a big challenge, but at least we have to seriously consider that all other devotees, they can live together in a community, and this will help the book distribution also, because people will see how this works in practical terms, that we can live alternative life to that which is material civilization showing and pushing on us. Just thank you. Hare Krishna. Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Sankirtan Yagya ki jai.
Jai. Thank you very much, Sankirtan Prabhu and Munindra Gana Prabhu. Now we want to sing one special song, the Vaishnava Pranam Mantra, in the melody of Happy Birthday. Because we have two birthday children here, Munindra Gana Prabhu himself, Haribo, and also Bhakta Emilio, Haribo. So in South America we used to sing like this: Vanchakalpa tarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya eva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Happy birthday. Hare Krishna to you, Hare Krishna to you, Hare Krishna, dear Munindra Gana and Emilio. Hare Krishna to you. Haribo, Munindra Gana Prabhu ki jai, Bhakta Emilio ki jai. All the best for your service. We're very glad that you are one of the members of our community and taking also responsibility, temple board, helping us here. So we wish you all the best. May you remain in this service for many more years to come. Hare Krishna. And our dear Bhakta Emilio, he's the best pot washer who Simhachalam has seen. He's always coming, but today, because his birthday, we gave him free. So every year for the festival, he's usually in the kitchen. So this year he got free, and so give him blessings, give him your association. He's a very nice devotee. Hare Krishna. Haribo. So now if we could quickly empty the temple room so we can prepare for breakfast. Thank you very much. And we can chant already. Mahaprasade Govinde Namo Brahmani Vaishnave Swalpa Punyavatam Rajam Vishwasanai Vijayate Sharirar Vidyajal Jyotendriya Tahikal Jive Pile Vishaya Sagore Dharmadye Jivayati Ilobhamoy Sudurmati Taketa Kutina Samsare Krishna Boradoyamoy Kodivada Jiva Joy Swaprasadana Dilobai Seyanam Amrita Pau Radha Krishna Gunago Premidako Chaitanya Nitai Jainimai Jainitai Mahabhagavat Prasadam Ki